Those foreign aid promote development or dependency. Hi everyone, today I'd like to discuss one of the most enduring controversies in development economics. Does foreign aid promote sustainable development, or does it create long-term dependency? For decades, wealthy nations and international organizations have provided billions of dollars in foreign aid to developing countries. This assistance has financed schools, hospitals, infrastructure, vaccination programs, and disaster relief. Supporters regard foreign aid as both a humanitarian obligation and an investment in global stability. Critics, however, question whether it consistently achieves its intended objectives. The central issue is not whether aid saves lives in emergencies. It undoubtedly does, but whether long-term and fosters self-sustaining economic development. Supporters argue that foreign aid helps countries escape the poverty trap. According to development economists, extremely poor countries often lack sufficient capital to invest in education, healthcare, transportation, and produce infrastructure. Because productivity remains low, incomes remain low, making future investment equally difficult. This self-reinforcing cycle can prevent economic takeoff. Well-designed foreign aid can provide the initial capital necessary to break this equilibrium. Another important justification concerns human capital. Investments in nutrition, public health, and education improve the productivity of future generations. Vaccination campaigns reduce disease, schools increase literacy, and healthcare extends life expectancy. These improvements generate long-term economic benefits that private markets may underprovide because many of the gains accrue to society rather than individual investors. Foreign aid may also contribute to the provision of global public goods. Programs that control infectious diseases, reduce extreme poverty, or strengthen climate resilience produce benefits that extend beyond national borders. From this perspective, development assistance represents not merely charity, but a rational investment in international security and shared prosperity. However, critics contend that prolonged aid may weaken domestic institutions. If governments rely heavily on external financial assistance, they may face weaker incentives to develop effective tax systems, strengthen public administration, or encourage private investment. Some scholars describe this phenomenon as aid dependency. Instead of fostering self-reliance, continuous assistance may reduce institutional accountability. Another concern involves governance. Foreign aid frequently flows through governments whose institutions are fragile or affected by corruption. When oversight is inadequate, substantial portions of aid may be diverted away from intended beneficiaries. In extreme cases, external assistance may inadvertently strengthen political elites while doing relatively little to improve ordinary citizens' lives. Critics also emphasize the importance of institutional quality. Historical evidence suggests that long-term prosperity depends not only on financial resources, but also on secure property rights, on independent judiciary, transparent governance, and effective public administration. Without these institutional foundations, financial assistance alone may generate disappointing results. In my opinion, the debate should not be framed as aid versus no aid. The more important question is what kind of aid works best. Development assistance should focus on strengthening institutions, expanding educational opportunities, improving public health, and supporting local entrepreneurship rather than creating permanent fiscal dependence. Aid should function as a catalyst that enables countries to generate sustained growth independently. Ultimately, economic development cannot simply be transferred from one nation to another. It must emerge from productive institutions, capable governments, and the initiative of local citizens. Foreign aid can support this process, but it cannot substitute for it. So here's my question. Should wealthy nations continue expanding foreign aid, or should they concentrate instead on promoting trade, investment, and institutional reform in developing countries? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for listening. See you next time.